Hi, I'm Frank Ritchie. You may not recognize me in this outfit. We were always busy on Mother's Day. Mother's Day is probably the busiest day for a restaurant in New York, and especially in Brooklyn. So the Italians traditionally take grandma, mommy, and maybe aunts to a restaurant for Mother's Day. It's a big deal. Mommy doesn't have to cook, and she sits down and she's taken care of like a queen, which is perfectly okay, because that's what we used to do. So I get a call about 2 weeks before Mother's Day. I'm going back to 1960, 63, 64, that's when it happened, a long time ago. And Torito calls me and he says, Frankie, yes, Mr. Badalamenti, how are you? He says, I want to have my wife for dinner with my daughter and my relatives, and we need a table of 6. I said, all right, table of 6 on Mother's Day. What time do you want to come in? He says, we go to church, then we come to the restaurant. We're going to come about 1 o'clock. I said, Mr. Bell, that's fine. 1 o'clock, 6 people, I'll have it all taken care of. Oh, he says, one other thing. I said, what is it? He says, I want a cooked goose. We did the goose, and at 1 o'clock, Sam walks in with his wife, with his daughter, with his son, who happens to be one of my friends, and 2 other people that were either aunts or cousins. And Sam Badalamenti was related to the Profaci family. His wife and Profacis were cousins or something like that. So he came from a very high profile Italian, Sicilian family. Comes time for the goose. So I go over to Mr. Badalamenti. I said, Mr. Badalamenti, the goose is ready. The goose is out of the bag. My 2 best waiters bring this cart next to the table where Sam is sitting, and we had the goose pre-cooked and pre-cut. I didn't mean cook. It was cut. So the legs were loose, the wings, the breast. So we started cutting the goose. I said to the waiters, he knows that it's a goose now. So bring the goose into the kitchen, and Jack, my partner, the chef, will cut. So we took care of cutting the goose, serving it to everybody with the vegetables, plenty of Italian bread with seeds and with no seeds. And then the topper of the topper was the dessert. The dessert was cassata. That's a Sicilian cake made with ricotta cream, and it's basically cannoli cream. When I served dinner in my restaurant with these special people, for lack of a better word, there's never a check. They never said, okay, Frankie, how much is the check? They would go like that. They make a symbol of like this or something like that. There was never a paper trail, if you will, for the meal, the wine, the appetizers, blah, blah, blah. No, we'd just say, Mr. Badalamenti, it was a pleasure serving you in our restaurant. This is with my compliments to your wife and to your daughter and to your family. And my friend Anthony, I said, so there's no check. Thank you very much. I couldn't wait for him to get the hell out of the restaurant. Okay, everybody was walking on eggs because he was there. So finally he puts his hand in his pocket and he takes out what I call the Italian money clip. It's a big wad of $100 bills. Remember, this is 1962, 3 or 4. It's a long, long time ago. He pulls out a wad that was about that big, but the Italian money clip was a rubber band. He took the rubber band off the pile of money that he carried in his pocket, and he handed me $1,000, 10 $100 bills. If I had charged him the regular price, it would have never been $1,000, 1962. The check would have probably been maybe $150. Plus, we would have added the tip. So I shook his hand. I gave him one of those old Italian hugs. I said, thank you very much. I said to my friend Anthony, thank you for coming. And whatever's left of the goose, we wrapped it up in aluminum foil, and we gave it to him to take home. Whew. When I tell you, I was walking on eggs, and I was hoping that Sam Badalamenti would never come back.